Hey everyone! Welcome back to Real Easy Talks, your daily English practice. I'm Anna.
And I'm Tom. We're so happy you're here with us today. If you're new, subscribe so you don't miss our daily episodes.
So, Tom, I noticed something about you lately. You seem more settled, more at peace with your work.
You know what? I think I am. But it wasn't always like that, not even close. I was cleaning my desk last weekend, and I found an old notebook from when I first started freelancing. And I had written this sentence in big letters: maybe I should just get a real job.
A real job?
A real job, like with a boss and a schedule and a guaranteed paycheck. I had written that during my darkest month as a freelancer, month 6. No clients, almost no money, eating ramen every night. And I remember sitting at that same desk, staring at the wall, thinking, this is it. I'm going to give up.
But you didn't.
I didn't. And honestly, I still don't fully understand why. Something just wouldn't let me stop.
That's interesting, because I think that's what not giving up really is. It's not some big motivational speech or superhero moment. It's that quiet, stubborn thing inside you that says, not today. I'm not quitting today.
Exactly. And today, we're going to talk about that. Not giving up, what it feels like, what it costs, and why it's worth it.
I have so many thoughts on this. Let's get into it.
So before we dive in, what does not giving up actually mean? Because I think people have this picture in their head of someone climbing a mountain with epic music playing, but that's not real life.
Not at all. In real life, not giving up looks pretty unglamorous. It looks like getting up after a bad day and doing the same thing again. It looks like crying in your car and then walking into work anyway.
Or eating ramen for the 30th night in a row because you believe in something that hasn't paid off yet.
Exactly. Not giving up doesn't mean you feel strong. It means you keep going even when you feel weak. There's a huge difference.
I think people confuse not giving up with not struggling. Like if you're struggling, you must be failing.
But it's the opposite. Struggling means you're in the fight. You're still trying. The moment you stop struggling is the moment you've actually given up.
That's a really important distinction. The struggle is the proof that you haven't quit.
Tell me more about month 6. What was that like in your body?
It was heavy, like physically heavy. I would wake up in the morning and my body didn't want to move. My arms felt like they were made of concrete, and there was this constant pressure in my chest, like someone was sitting on it. Not pain exactly, just weight.
And what was going on in your head?
The worst part wasn't the money. The money was bad, but the worst part was the voice in my head. Every morning it would say, your dad was right. Design isn't a real career. You wasted your education. Everyone else your age has a stable job, and you're sitting here with nothing.
That inner voice is brutal during hard times.
And the hardest moment was when my sister Sarah called. She said, Tom, are you doing okay? Mom is worried about you. And I almost broke, because that meant even my family could see I was failing.
What did Sarah say?
She said something that surprised me. She said, Tom, you've only been doing this for 6 months. You spent 3 years at the agency being miserable. Can you give yourself at least a year before you decide it's not working?
Wow, that's really smart.
It was. She basically told me I was judging 6 months of freedom against 3 years of experience, and that wasn't fair. She said, you didn't learn nursing in 6 months either, and I'm saving lives now. And I was like, okay, 1 more month.
And that 1 more month turned into years.
It did. The next month, I got my first real client, and things slowly started to build from there. But if I had quit in month 6,
You would have missed everything that came after.
everything, Lily, this podcast, my illustration work, all of it, none of it would exist if I had given up that month. What about you? Have you ever wanted to quit?
Yes. Year 3 of teaching. I almost walked away from it completely.
Really? You love teaching.
I do now, but year 3, I was exhausted. I was working 12-hour days, coming home to a pile of essays to grade, and I started feeling like nothing I did mattered, like I was pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. I would teach all day and then lie on my couch at night and just stare at the ceiling. No energy to cook, no energy to call anyone. Biscuit would put his head on my lap and I couldn't even pet him.
That sounds like burnout.
It was burnout. And the scary thing about burnout is you don't feel sad. You feel empty, like someone turned off the lights inside you. My body was there, but I wasn't really present. I was going through the motions, standing in front of the class, saying the words, writing on the board, but inside, nothing. No spark, no warmth, just gray.
That sounds really lonely.
It was, because you can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone inside yourself. And the worst part is, I felt guilty for feeling that way. I kept thinking, I should be grateful. I have a job. My students need me. What's wrong with me?
What made you want to quit?
I had a day where a student yelled at me in class. He was frustrated, not at me, at himself, but he took it out on me. And I went to my car after class, sat there, and thought, I can't do this anymore. I don't have anything left to give.
What changed your mind?
2 things. First, my colleague, Linda, she found me in the parking lot, sat in the passenger seat, and just sat with me. She didn't say, it'll get better, or you're strong. She said, I almost quit in year 4. I'm glad I didn't. But if you need to take a break, that's okay too.
She gave you permission to rest without making it about quitting.
Exactly. And second, my grandma. Grandma Betty used to say, do what makes your heart light up. And I realized teaching still made my heart light up. It was just buried under too much exhaustion and too many responsibilities. The fire wasn't gone. It was just covered with ashes.
The fire covered with ashes. That's beautiful.
So I didn't quit. I restructured. I set boundaries. I started saying no to extra things. I started going to yoga again, and slowly the fire came back.
I have another story, a project story. I had a client who rejected my design. Not once, not twice, 7 times.
7?
7. Each time I would pour everything into a new version, stay up late, redesign the whole thing, submit it, and they'd say, not quite. And by rejection number 5, my hands were shaking when I opened their emails. My stomach was in a permanent knot. I would see their name in my inbox and my whole body would tense up. My jaw would clench, my shoulders would go up to my ears.
That sounds awful.
It was. And after number 6, I told Jake, I'm going to tell them to find another designer. I can't do this anymore. And Jake, honest as always, said, you're not a quitter, man. Give it one more shot. what's the worst that can happen? So I went back. Rejection number 7, they loved it. They said it was exactly what they wanted. And that final design, it's still in my portfolio. It's one of my best pieces. 7 rejections made it better than I could have done in one try.
That's so powerful. The rejections were part of the creative process, not failures.
But in the moment, each one felt like a personal attack, like a fist hitting my chest. It's only looking back that I can see they were making the work better.
If you're listening and you're on rejection number 3, or 5, or 10, keep going. The breakthrough might be one more try away.
Okay, but here's the tricky part. How do you know when to keep going and when to actually stop? Because sometimes quitting is the right choice, right?
Absolutely. This is really important. Not giving up doesn't mean never stopping anything ever. Sometimes walking away is the brave choice.
So what's the difference?
I think the difference is this. Are you quitting because it's hard, or are you quitting because it's wrong? Those are 2 very different things.
Can you explain that more?
If you're quitting because you're tired, frustrated, or scared of failing, that's fear talking, and usually you'll regret it. But if you're quitting because the thing no longer fits who you are, or it's hurting you, or you've genuinely outgrown it, that's wisdom.
So me leaving the agency wasn't giving up, it was choosing something better.
Right. You didn't leave because design was too hard. You left because that environment was wrong for you. That's a totally different thing.
That's a really helpful way to think about it. Fear quit versus wisdom quit.
Fear quit versus wisdom quit. I like that. And here's a quick test. If you imagine yourself 1 year from now, would you regret stopping? If yes, keep going. If no, maybe it's time to let go.
1 year from now test. That's practical. I like it. So what actually keeps people from quitting? Like, what's that fuel?
Different things for different people. For some, it's purpose. They have a reason bigger than the difficulty. For others, it's people, someone who believes in them.
For me, it was both. Sarah's phone call gave me permission to keep trying, and my reason, wanting creative freedom, was bigger than the discomfort.
And for some people, honestly, it's stubbornness. My dad is like that. He doesn't give up on anything because he just refuses to let anything beat him.
Stubbornness as a superpower.
It really can be. One of my students, I want to share this quickly. He was a man from Somalia. He had been a teacher back home, a literature teacher, and he came to America speaking almost no English. He was in my beginner class at age 52.
That takes courage.
So much courage. And one day he told me, "Back home, I taught young people to love books. I cannot do that here if I cannot speak the language, so I will learn, even if it takes me 10 years.
Even if it takes me 10 years. That's grit.
Pure grit. And he came to class every single day. Rain, snow, bus delays, he was always there, always in the front row. And when I see him now, 3 years later, having real conversations, recommending books to other students, I think that is what not giving up looks like. Not glamorous, not easy, just showing up again and again and again. And I want to say this clearly. Not giving up doesn't look the same for everyone. For some people, it's running a marathon. For others, it's getting out of bed.
That's so true. We compare our struggles to other people's highlights and feel like we're not doing enough.
But your not giving up is valid, no matter how small it looks from the outside. Getting through a hard day at work without breaking down, that's not giving up. Sending one more job application after 20 rejections, that's not giving up. Cooking dinner when you're exhausted instead of skipping the meal, that counts too. Even showing up to listen to this podcast when you're tired and could have scrolled your phone instead, that's a choice. That's you choosing growth.
Pause for a second. If you're listening right now, think about one thing you didn't give up on this week, even something tiny. Hold on to that. I think we need to celebrate the small acts of persistence, not just the dramatic ones.
And if you're listening right now and you're dealing with something hard and you're still here, you haven't given up, even if it feels like you're barely surviving is still surviving. And surviving becomes thriving if you give it enough time.
That actually just gave me chills, like right here on my arms. Tiny little bumps everywhere.
Goosebumps, that's your body saying, yes, this is true. Your body knows before your brain does.
So let's end with this. What actually happens on the other side when you push through the hard part?
You become someone new, not a different person, a deeper version of yourself. Like the you that comes out of a struggle is the same you, but with more strength, more empathy, and more confidence.
I can feel that. The Tom who survived month 6 of freelancing is the same Tom sitting here, but he's steadier. The ground feels more solid under his feet now.
And here's the thing nobody tells you. The hard thing you survived becomes your greatest story. The struggle becomes the thing that inspires other people. Your pain becomes your power.
My worst freelance month became the story that encourages other designers to keep going.
And my burnout year became the experience that makes me a better teacher. Because now when a student is overwhelmed, I can honestly say, I've been there, and it gets better.
It does get better. Not immediately, not magically, not on your timeline, but if you keep going, it gets better. And one day you'll look back at this moment, this exact moment where you almost stopped, and you'll think, I'm so glad I kept going.
And that's the promise of not giving up. Not that everything will be perfect, but that you will be stronger, more capable, more you. And you will be proud of yourself for staying when every part of you wanted to leave. Okay, Tom, let's review some key words from today's talk.
Let's go.
First, give up. To stop trying because something feels too hard or impossible.
I almost gave up on freelancing, but I'm so glad I kept going.
When the weight of the struggle feels heavier than the dream.
Second, persevere. To keep trying even when things are very difficult.
She persevered through 3 years of burnout and came out stronger.
Third, resilience. The ability to recover quickly from difficult situations.
Building resilience takes time, but every challenge makes you a little tougher.
Fourth, setback. A problem or event that slows your progress or moves you backwards.
Getting rejected 7 times was a huge setback, but it made my design better.
Fifth, determination. A strong feeling of wanting to achieve something no matter the obstacles.
His determination to learn English at age 52 was inspiring.
Sixth, push through. To continue doing something difficult even when you want to stop.
Some days you just have to push through the discomfort and trust the process.
Seventh, bounce back. To recover from a difficult experience and return to your normal state.
It took time, but Anna bounced back from her burnout and found her passion again.
8th, grit. Courage, determination, and strength of character. The thing that keeps you going when everything says stop.
That student had incredible grit. He showed up every single day for 3 years.
9th, hang in there. An encouraging phrase that means keep going, be patient, don't give up.
When things get tough, I tell myself, just hang in there. Tomorrow might be different.
And 10th, pay off. When your hard work finally leads to a good result.
All those late nights and rejections finally paid off when I got my first real client.
These are words for the fighters, for the people who keep going even when it's hard. Pick the one that gives you strength and hold on to it.
Mine is grit. I want to have more grit, like that student in the front row.
I love that. And don't worry if you forget some of these. Just remember one. Hang in there. That's enough for today.
All right, that was a great talk about not giving up.
Now, a question for you. Tell us in the comments, what's one thing you almost gave up on but didn't? And how did it change your life?
We love reading your answers.
If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs a reminder to keep going.
We'll see you tomorrow with another easy conversation.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.